right, welcome to the Superhero Post Show where we talk all things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. So obviously, yesterday the Snyder Cut came out, and it was a really exciting thing. Okay, the fandom for superheroes right now is shaking in a great way. And to make it even better, today, Friday, on March 19th, we have gotten the Falcon and the Winter Soldier show. The first episode has come out today, and so I wanted to give a quick review on what's happening in this show. So we start the movie with obviously finding out that Sam has been working for the Air Force. He's been signing, different contracts, doing a bunch of contract jobs with the Air Force. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually been pretty dope that they've been doing that. You know what I mean? And I was actually shocked that Sam actually ended up going into the military. But obviously it's the most plausible, I guess, option that they could be doing right now. And the opening scene for me is the best opening scene because obviously we've always seen Falcon as a sidekick. We've always seen Falcon as relying on Cap or somebody else to get the job done, and it feels great seeing Falcon being on his own, doing his own thing, really like being his own man, relying on his wit, coming up with great ideas to fight. And we also got to see Sam's fighting ability. This dude can actually fight. And the fact that he could almost go toe to toe with Batroc, who we're going to talk about a little bit later, is a really big deal. The fact that with Captain America, he had to battle with Batroc, and Falcon had and he held his own against Batroc, and this also showcases Falcon's fighting ability, which was also great to see. And so, basically, after that scene, he saves this dude, one of the people in the military that Batroc captured. He ends up getting them. He ends up talking to one of the guys that he's working with, and they were like getting lunch or whatever in another country, and people were coming up to Sam saying, "Hey, you're an Avenger," blah blah blah. He's all hype, and then basically, the guys say, people think that Steve isn't dead. They think he's like on the moon, they think he's on a secret moon base, and it's funny that they say secret moon base because if you guys don't know, on the Avengers game, like actual Avengers video game, with AIM and all that stuff, he was actually on a secret moon base. So I guess that was like a cool little like Easter egg that they wanted to drop. That was really dope. But yeah, it was cool. And then we end up going to Sam going back to DC, giving the shield back to the government. I guess the Smithsonian actually ended up taking the shield, and we saw Rhodey in the episode. Sam gave a whole soliloquy about Steve and how no one can live up to the shield, really talking about himself because he's not confident enough to take the shield on his own. And Rhodey ends up talking to Sam as they were going through the gallery, and Rhodey just asked him like, "Why did you give up the shield? Why did he not take the mantle?" And to make a long story short, Sam just doesn't feel deserving of the shield. He feels and he said it again, like what he said to Steve at the end of Endgame. He said, "I feel like it's someone else's." And that was his chance to take it. He didn't have to take it to the Smithsonian. And to be honest, would the world have accepted him with the shield? That's a question that we all can't answer. Me personally, I'm not sure if the world would. I mean, the only excuse you could have is that Steve gave him the shield. But I mean, still, would the world accept Sam if you really can't get America? This is a question that I guess we have to find out on the show. And so, then right after that scene, bro, we go right into a Winter Soldier flashback where he takes out a whole team of men, says Hell Hydra. This is back when he worked for, well, it didn't really work. He was forced to work with Hydra. And it was actually a nightmare that Bucky had. Basically, obviously, Bucky was not conscious of these things. Like, he basically wasn't himself during these scenes. And so he actually ends up having these nightmares of the past missions, the past people that he's killed. And so he wakes up, obviously sleeping on the floor. Another reference to Winter Soldier when Sam and Steve were talking, right? And they were saying how, it's hard sleeping in the bed. You know what I mean? It feels like marshmallows. When they're in war, they slept on the ground. And to them, that's comfortable. So Bucky ends up waking up on the floor. And then he ends up talking to his therapist. Because I guess he meets with the therapist. She's an ex-military gal. She seems pretty dope. And he was lying to her about his nightmares, and she's basically trying to get information out of him, like what's going on, like, you all right? That's his therapist. But obviously, Bucky still has trauma from obviously Endgame and all that stuff, but also still from all the crimes he committed that he's had no control over. And he's been doing like little works of trying to make amends with people. So he will meet people like maybe like people that he's done business with as a Winter Soldier or something like that, and he will like make amends with them. So he's been doing that. And so the thing is, right? And she even said he's been ignoring texts from Sam. I guess Sam's probably been reaching out to him. Maybe that's another big part of why Sam isn't confident in the Shield, because he needs Bucky. You know, like he wants Bucky in his life to help him out with this road to becoming Captain America. And maybe because Bucky didn't reach out to him, what if that's why, you know, Sam didn't? That's another reason why Sam doesn't have any confidence in taking up the Captain America mantle. And so basically, Bucky was going out to eat with this dude named Yuri. Now we don't know who Yuri is at first. So him and Yuri get sushi, and then he ends up scoring a date with this girl that works at the sushi bar. And she was like, "Yo, come meet me around 10. I get off at 10." And so then we go back to another scene with Sam. Oh my god, yeah, Sam, aka Falcon. Sam, we met his two nephews. Don't know their names yet, but we all know what that probably lead into one day. And we end up meeting his sister Sarah. So his family had a fishing business, and basically, I guess it's fishing. You know, they have a boat, and apparently their family house and their boat, they're both probably going to be getting sold because they can't get the money to support it. The boat is basically breaking. The house is really like they can't afford to keep the house or the boat. So I guess his sister's trying to sell the boat, but Sam wants to, you know, try to find a way to keep the stuff. And his sister like doesn't like that because, you know, he ran away to her. He went to the Air Force. He didn't stay to deal with the troubles. And then, you know, during the blip as well, he was not on Earth. He was blipped. And so also we also get to dig deeper into, you know, the whole thing with superheroes, how financially like they weren't really helped to stay afloat. Like they got a lot of stuff, but they weren't really paid, you know, like what people think they are. Were. And so then we end up seeing Bucky on a date with the girl they're playing. What's the name of the game that they're playing? Frack. Battleship, I think. We're playing Battleship, and she ends up talking about Yuri's son. Because obviously, and Yuri actually got emotional when they went out to get sushi. And you can see Sam was like getting a little emotional. And at first I was like, I don't like, did he kill Yuri's son? And then when he ends up leaving the date because she starts talking about Yuri's son. He goes to Yuri's house, and we see a picture of Yuri's son. Yuri's son is the Asian guy that Bucky actually killed in his Winter Soldier flashback. It's one of the people that he's blatantly just shot for no reason. And basically that's why Bucky's been hanging out with Yuri. He's trying to make amends, but he feels really guilty that he killed his son. And even on the date, let's just talk about the date. That was funny too, because she was like, how old are you? He was like 106. And she thinks he's joking. Bull was dead serious, you know. And it's really hard, you know, that he has to hide all this stuff from all these people. Because, I mean, dude has a metal arm. He's 106 years old. You know, he doesn't know how to date anymore. But it's really cool seeing these dynamics. Because, you know, we obviously didn't get these with Steve, because Steve was a little more cultured, you know. But and Steve didn't really date a lot. He just kissed random people all the time. Kissing Natasha, kissing his niece, technically, or not his niece, but Peggy's great niece or whatever, which was pretty weird, pretty dope at the same time. So then, okay, we end up seeing a bunch of people robbing a bank. A bunch of people were in masks. They're called the Flag Smashers. And they ended up robbing a bank, and one of the men in the mask got into a fight with one of Falcon's boys that he works with and ended up smashing his face. And the guy that threw him was super strong, okay? Now, this is where it gets juicy, all right? He calls Sam and says, you don't think he can be a ... He didn't say what it is. But the call, Sam basically ended the call when he says, you don't think he can be a... Since Sam has the call. Were they going to say mutant? Because they weren't... There's no way you can say that that's a wizard or an alien or... what's the third one? A sorcerer, alien. I forget the third one. There's no way that they fit into that big three. Dude. What if that was the mutant Easter egg right there? What if that was the name drop for a mutant? I don't know, but I know Josh from Dead of Nerds is probably freaking out about that line. But I remember he said, "Do you don't think he can be a?" And they're going to Madripoor. You know, maybe these people are from, and maybe these people have been developed from Madripoor, or you know, they've been weaponized. They've had power. They have powers, kind of like the Scarlet Witches, like getting amplified. Maybe you know these are people with amplified powers. That's why they're going to Madripoor. I don't know, but that also pauses a thought, you know, in my head of. But a lot of people talking about Inhumans, so we'll see. But to me, that felt like a mutant drop. And to end it, because obviously the whole lone crafting worked with Sam, the government ends up announcing their new Captain America, okay, which is obviously U.S. agent, and he ends up coming out, and Sam is pissed, obviously, because they played him. You know, they were begging for the shield so they can choose their own Captain America. They didn't want Sam to be Cap, obviously. Sam didn't want to be Cap, so they end up choosing their own, and that's how the episode ends. So I mean, this episode was really great. It came into it with a lot of action, but also gave us a lot of character depth, painting the beautiful picture that we're going to see as the episodes go on. This is going to be a super long series, but I'm really excited for the doors that this is going to open for Falcon, him being on his own, for Bucky, for Falcon coming into the Captain America mantle, and also what this is going to do for the future of the MCU regarding either mutants or Inhumans or whatever those people are. So I can't wait to see the future of this thing, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and show some love. So thank you guys.